Yo.
Yo.
Welcome back to the Mark Hours podcast, the official podcast of YouTube. What's good with you, Chen?
Man, life is good, man.
What's good about life?
Just turned 30.
Happy birthday.
Appreciate it.
Literally, your birthday was literally yesterday, the day that we recording this.
Yep.
Well, 2 days ago.
2 days. Yep. Oh, man. It's my shout out to Ayola.
Oh, yeah. I saw it was her birthday.
Yeah. July 4th. Shout out to all the military.
Shout out to...
Is it a military thing?
I don't
July
think
4th?
I don't think it's a military thing. I think it's a country thing.
Oh, yeah. Freedom.
Yeah.
Not for black people, though.
Ooh.
But, you know.
I think...
white people freedom.
I think the black Republicans will disagree with you.
We're all Americans.
Exactly.
That's true.
But I just got back from Alabama. My grandmother passed away, so I flew down there to Alabama, and the funeral was that Saturday. I arrived that Friday, and surprisingly, I showed up. Everybody was happy to see me. Surprisingly, a good number of folks was like, "I watched the podcast."
Oh, word!
I listened to the podcast.
Oh, that's dope.
I was like, "Really?" They were like, "Yeah, I like the podcast." So shout out to Utah, Alabama, EUTAW, Alabama, my family out there. Thank y'all for supporting.
But yeah, okay, cool. How long were you there?
I arrived Friday. I left Sunday.
Oh wow,
I left Sunday.
A weekend trip.
I drove back Sunday. I ain't fly back Sunday because the price was a little crazy for Alabama.
Yeah.
I'm like, whoa, what's all this? So yeah,
everybody trying to go to Alabama for the summer break.
Who? Who else? I ain't gonna hold you. Huntsville is supposed to be like a major city now. They like surpassed Birmingham as the major city of Alabama. So
really,
yeah. So Huntsville, if you have money to invest in Huntsville, you might want to do that now.
More so than Birmingham.
More than Birmingham.
That's wild.
More than Birmingham.
Damn.
More than Birmingham.
Isn't that the place that Martin Luther King was doing his thing?
I think so. I'm not sure.
Birmingham, Alabama.
I'm not sure. I know they marched somewhere down there. I think it was Montgomery. I'm not sure, but maybe I need to read more books.
Insane.
Yeah.
Ooh, one good book I read. Cause you know I come with a book recommendation.
Mm-hmm.
Make Time. Make Time by John Zoriski. I don't know how to say his last name. And Jake Knapp.
Make Time.
Make Time.
What is Make Time about? Give me a quick 2 minute summary because I'm probably not gonna read it.
Kind of about how to make time for your for the things that you want to do. The opening text is like, this is not a book about how to do more stuff or get more things done quickly. It's more about how can you make time for the things that you actually want to do. Rather slow it down, create space, and actually focus on the things that you really want to do versus the things that you think you need to do for other people.
That makes sense.
Yeah. So it was a really good book.
See, look, I already learned it. I ain't got to read it no more. So,
okay.
So what is on your mind today? What are we going to talk about today?
So for my 30th, I went to this place called the Getaway house.
Uh-oh.
No phones, no laptop. Well, I had my laptop, but no internet, a lot of nature, and it was kind of like a small cabin. I was there by myself for like about 4 days, 3 nights.
Really?
Yeah. It was really nice. And there was a couple of thoughts that I had that I kind of want to touch on during the podcast.
Okay, let's go. Let's go.
One of the major thoughts that I had was like the whole idea of wanting to make memories. Mm-hmm. And I feel like a lot of times people sacrifice making memories with being present, for being present. And one idea one instant that came out that I kind of talked to you about this past Friday, was when Beyonce had a concert and she was singing in front of this guy's face, and this guy was videotaping or using his phone to capture the moment, quote unquote, make memories, versus actually being present and seeing that Beyonce is looking right at him. And I think a lot of times we try so hard, and I think it's this idea of I don't want to forget this moment, but in this trying to capture the moment and not trying to forget the moment, we kind of not be fully present in that moment. And so it was just an interesting idea, because even me, when I was at the Getaway cabin, and this is why I started playing with the idea, there was so many things going on. There was birds. There was like different animals.
Did like you bring your camera?
I brought my phone.
Okay.
But my phone was dead at the time. But I was like, man, I really want to take pictures of this.
Mm.
I was like, for what? Like, just admire it. Like, why do you need to get your camera to take pictures? And this whole idea of making memories. Like, why are we so fixated on making memories instead of just soaking it in?
I don't know. Like, it's interesting that, like, this idea... For one, I hate people, and granted, this is the norm now. But when you're at the concert, people have their phones and they're recording it.
Yeah.
And I always say, you're probably not going to rewatch it. This, yeah. And if you rewatch it, it's bad quality. Like, you're shaking. The audio is trash.
You can't see the people.
But many times than not, people create those memories or create those moments or try to capture those moments.
Yeah.
I don't even know if it's for themselves anymore. More than to show that I was here. Mm. It's almost like, hey, I was at the Beyonce concert. I have to show proof
that I was
there more than actually like experiencing it. I can't imagine. First of all, if I'm looking at my camera and I see Beyonce looking directly at my camera, I'm putting my camera down like, is she looking at me? You know what I mean? And then she called me out in front of tens of thousands of people. So I think that's the problem that we have right now in our society, is that there is this subconscious need of proof.
Yeah.
Of my life is enough. Here's the proof.
Yeah, go ahead.
No, yeah, like my life is enough, or my life is fun, or I am adventurous. You know what I mean? Like, how do I know you was really at the Getaway house, Chen, if you ain't got no proof that you was there? You know what I mean?
I agree. I think, and initially when I was like contemplating this idea, I was like, are people doing this for the future? Mm-hmm. Like, and I think you're right. People are not doing these things for the future. I think people are just doing it, but who knows? Because you know how like people are like hoard things. Mm-hmm. Like they would collect things and never use it. And it's like I might use this, and so in the moment they probably do think that they will watch it in the future, or they probably do think like in the future I might want to see this moment or be able to relive this moment. So let me capture this moment now, mm-hmm. As like a collecting type of thing, like maybes. But what I would say is like you said, a lot of times people don't use these moments.
Now, granted, I think there are some. I don't want to make a blanket statement. People probably do use them. People probably take them. Probably what I would do if I was that type of guy. If you go take pictures, I think you have to print them out and actually make like a physical photo book. Like, to me, I feel like that's how I will find value in the pictures that I take. Mm-hmm. Because what happens with me is I take pictures, and then that's when all of a sudden I get that message on my iPhone.
You run out of space.
Hey, do you want to update the storage? hey, your iCloud hasn't been backed up in like 30 days because you have all these pictures.
Yeah.
And then what happens is you end up deleting things because at that time, because you want more space, you now put a lesser value on the things that you captured. So mm-hmm. now you're deleting pictures, deleting videos. Yeah. Besides actually taking the picture and actually printing it out or doing something with it, even posting it, maybe deleting it. I don't know. But I'm not a phone camera or just camera person in general. But I think we have to find another way to be present and use moments and memories more than to prove that I was there or that my life is amazing. Look how fun I am. Exactly. It has to be something more. It has to be more useful, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, even like, and to your point, like, there's no. I don't want to be the guy be like, yo, nobody should be taking pictures anywhere. Like, yeah, pictures are useful, mm-hmm. but they're kind of like a thumbnail to the content. Mm. Meaning, like, if you're not really reflecting or doing like reflection, and the difference between making memories and reflection. Before I continue, making memories is you're doing something for the future. That's kind of how I put it. Like, you're doing this so in the future you're able to look back on it. Mm-hmm. Whereas reflection, you're doing something for now to look at the past. So you're reflecting on certain things, reliving certain things now. So you're still present, but you're trying to feel what you felt in the past. Like, okay, how did I feel about this? How did I blah, blah, blah. But you're doing something now. It's an active thing. Making memories is not that active. And if you don't have, and I get it. So you take pictures, then let that be the thumbnail for those reflections. So, at that moment, I was blah, 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 blah. Cool. This is the picture for that moment. I think a lot of times people don't do that. I think a lot of times people just take these pictures, and even then, when they do take the picture, it's sometimes fake. Like, they doctor it up, like, I'm having fun. You ever seen those expectations versus reality type
Yeah.
When, like, the person is, like, in the water, twirling around with turtles and sharks, but then the turtle in the reality, the turtle touches them, they start screaming, yelling. And so it's like a lot of these pictures not even true to what is really going on.
It made me think about it, and I'm just gonna put it in the video. There was this time where Kevin Hart and Jay-Z were at a basketball game.
Yeah. Those fake laughs.
And they was laughing, shaking hands in the picture. But then there was another angle showing them actually like rehearsing it, and actually I was like, dang. Oh boy, but that to me. I think that's even crazier. Like, you get what I'm saying? Like, there's no more when it comes to pictures.
Yeah.
Even with Instagram is no longer like the picture. Even though pictures is on there, it's moving away from pictures and moving more to brands. You almost have to be professional. You can't be a novice at pictures anymore.
Yeah.
What happened to just taking a picture with somebody? You get what I'm saying? Now there's a way to take pictures. There's people out here who's actually like making a business or a side hustle of showing you how to take pictures.
Yeah.
Now, granted, I think there is a way to take pictures because I take terrible pictures. You get what I'm saying? Even with my girl telling me, hey, your angle is wrong. You got to hold it up a little bit. You know what I mean? But to me, I'm just like, hey, this.
If I ever see you take a picture like this, boy, if I see you take it.
But that's my angle, though. But that's my angle.
Boy, you better keep that level.
but my thing is,
boy.
But like my thing is, whenever I'm in a moment, it can go both ways for me. I don't think about taking a picture.
Yeah.
Sometimes I need to think about taking a picture.
No, that's true.
You get what I'm saying? One thing I told you that I said, this was like in my mid-20s or even late 20s. I'm only 30, but I'm 31 by like
a couple of days.
By the time y'all hear this. I said, yo, we need to take more pictures, bro.
Yeah.
And I think we need to take more pictures because we take no pictures.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying? There is a extreme that we're doing. Like, it's like you said, you're not anti-picture. And I think we extreme the other way of taking no pictures to where we won't even have that moment or that time to reflect.
Yeah.
To like your point of looking back at the past, like, oh, remember this? This is the most reflection that we do, that we've done, and that recording something that we can actually leave a footprint online that we could be like, hey, 10 years from now, if YouTube is still a company, we could be like, we did a podcast 10 years ago. But that's the most I have. I don't have like photos of memories and things like that. The only thing that brings back memories to me is songs, but not like pictures. Because I don't really have pictures, not pictures that I've taken. I have pictures, of course, but not pictures that I've taken.
Yeah, no, that's interesting. Yeah, because, I mean, to be honest, and you said something earlier before we start shooting the podcast, and we was talking about something, we was talking about financial stuff, but you was like, there's always a balance that you need to strike. You can't go extreme one way. Mm-hmm. If you're always taking pictures, are you really present? Mm. But you've never taken pictures. Are you still present? Because, there is a, like, oh, I want to capture this moment, look at this moment type of feel that you should be getting from just living life. If you don't have that feeling, like, are you really appreciating this life? Like, there's like, if you have a child, you never took a picture of your child.
That's crazy.
Do you love your child?
Okay.
I mean, I'm saying if you have access to a camera, I understand.
Exactly.
I understand. We live in America. But if you have access to a camera,
which you should, because you have access to a phone.
Which also, that's probably another reason why people are just OCing with pictures. But if you have access to a phone and you never taken one picture or a couple pictures of your child, do you really want to like remember your like? So I think it's the same thing with being present. Like, there was a feeling. I would be honest. There is a feeling of wanting to capture this moment. But I think there's a fine line to strike where it's like, is this a moment that I need to capture, or is this a moment that I need to be present? And then there's another one where, you know, like for example, at the end of my Getaway trip, towards the end, I did this hike a couple of times in different paths. I was like, there's certain things I wanted to capture. So at the end, I re-walked the path, and then I took videos and pictures. But I already fully experienced that path. You already
experienced it, okay.
Where I didn't have my camera, I didn't have my phone. I wasn't like trying to capture every little thing. It was like, okay, this is something I want to take a picture of later on. This is something I want to take a picture of. This is something I want to take a picture of. And then when I was taking a picture, I didn't look through the camera. I made sure I aligned it, but then I was also paying attention to like the actual thing that I was taking a picture of, which just kind of made it fully. And I know this sounds wooey, and
it sounds very wooey.
Yeah, I know.
It sounds very wooey. And very hippie, very Oreo.
But it made me really appreciate the small things of what I was looking at. Which, you know, if I tell you what it is, it's just gonna make it more wooey and whatnot. But yeah, I do agree with you. I think there is a balance that you need to strike in both ways. Like, you cannot take no pictures, but you gotta be careful with just every little thing that you want to capture. You just capture it. It's the same thing with stuff. You can't just have everything. Like I was one of those people, so I understand. Where I had like packages, like I still have my PlayStation 2 box, PlayStation 3 box. I don't have a PlayStation 4 box, but that's only because I bought it used. But I probably would have. I still have my MacBook boxes. I just threw away my Google. What do they call those things? The Google Wi-Fi box.
Was it hard to throw it away?
It was. I was like, this is a beautiful box. And I thought to myself, why do I haven't used this box? And so it's the same thing with pictures and making memories. Like, do you really need these pictures?
Yeah.
Are you really going to look back at these pictures?
Now, question. Now, we gonna get back to your notes with the memories and things like that. But I kind of want to get into your mindset of when you was driving there or going there. Because you drive or flew?
I drive.
You drove, right?
I drove.
Like, what made you go, like, Getaway? Was it just something that made you just go, like, it's just something new? Because, and I'm only asking you that, not because you're the co-host and like, you know, that's your podcast, but, like, for someone who likes isolation, I'm thinking, like, why would you kind of push yourself towards it if you're trying to revert in a way or trying to find balance in a way?
I think so. The idea was always curious to me.
Okay. So just curious to see how it is and things like that.
For a while. So I remember 3 years ago, a friend of mine suggested doing it, and we were supposed to go together. But then, you know, things happen. And then, so it's always an idea of doing the Getaway house. Now it's like, oh, this would be cool to do for my 30th. Just throwing it out there. Now I remember, you know, listening to Bill Gates.
Shout out to Bill Gates.
And he does this thing where he goes to a remote cabin. He actually gets flown through with a helicopter and goes to a remote cabin near the water for about a week. And he has a whole bunch of books. And all he does during that week is read a bunch of books. He also gets flown. Bunch of snacks.
Exactly.
so it's a little bit more luxurious. But he also is a billionaire, so it makes sense.
Yeah.
But so that whole week, he's just reading books and doing stuff. And so that was kind of my thing. It was just kind of like reading books and doing and getting away from technology and people and just kind of like resetting. And then also it was like me moving to a new decade. So I thought it was going to be more so of like what I want to do for the next 10 years. And I thought I was going to write a bunch of goals and really reflect on my 20s, which really didn't quite happen.
Really?
I had some reflection. So one of the things were be more present. Another one is be more bored.
Okay.
Be around more people. And how do you eliminate your distractions? Those are the 4 real things that I kind of really dived into. But, you know, it wasn't like yeah, in my 30s, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that, I'm
going to start these LLCs.
Yeah.
It wasn't like, okay.
It was more like, what do I want? What, and, you know, it kind of happened naturally. It was like, these 4 things I want to do more of.
Mm-hmm.
Be bored is, I know that's a weird thing to want to do.
We'll probably touch on that probably later. But that's crazy, like, to be more present, to be bored, to
be around more people.
Be around more people. You came. It's crazy how you come up with that out of the Getaway house.
I think the thing about me is like I don't mind being around people. Mm-hmm. I just don't like being on phones and texting and social media.
Okay.
And I think that's what I don't like. And so when I didn't have all those things, I was like, oh, I want to talk. I want to talk to somebody.
So hold on. Usually at this Getaway house, there's no other Getaway houses in that like community.
You're not allowed to like go across. There's a bunch of them, but they all kind of in their own little small
they own.
space.
So I'm like,
and you're not walking through their yard.
I need help, but hey, dude,
you call the red phone.
Do y'all have sugar?
That'll be wild. Somebody knocked on my door, no shirt, boxer. Like
hey,
man.
we at the Getaway house right there down the trail. Dude, you have any sugar? No, that's wild. I probably never do it, but like it's very interesting. I don't know. Maybe I do it.
Yeah, I think you should. I read a book in one day for the first time. I never read one book in one.
Was it a big book, too?
It was like 300 pages.
Really?
That's how you know we not readers. Because that was a lot of book. I was like, damn, that's a lot of pages.
I'm like 300 pages, but that's going to take me at least 2 months.
That's how I'll be feeling. But I read it in one day. That was the first time I ever did something like that. I finished 2 books. One, I was already like 1/3 through it.
Yeah.
And then I finished that book, and then I finished the second book, and then I started a new book.
I ain't gonna hold you. Maybe it's too soon to ask because you just got back from the Getaway house.
Yeah.
Is there anything you did to go with being more present and besides creating more memories, rather, that you implemented already back home? Because now you back into, not only are you back in the city.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So you back in the hustle and bustle of the city. Is there any way that you is being more present back home besides something forcing you to be present? Now, like, you have technology everywhere around the house. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah, definitely.
So is there anything that's making you go like, okay, I can implement this in my like everyday life now here?
Yeah, one thing that I remember doing, and even complaining about before I left, I remember saying to my girl, like, I can't eat and not watch something. Like, I need to watch, like, I need to be on YouTube. I need to be watching a movie or something. I can't just have something and just eat it unless I'm at a restaurant. But like, if I'm by myself, I just can't be like quiet and just eating. And so one thing I remember doing at the Getaway house was just going outside and eating my food because there's no internet, so there's nothing you watch. And I would just watch like the trees or whatever, or be in deep thought. And a lot of the thoughts that I was writing down when I was at the Getaway place, I was doing it while I was eating. And that's something that I implement now. Like, I'm now on YouTube. Like, before you came, I had like a salad. I was feeling to like watch some YouTube. I'm like, wait, I forgot. That's the rule. I turned it on. I just ate in silence and just was with my thoughts. And so that's one thing I've been more present with. And then just reading about how we don't really focus on what we eat. We kind of like a lot of people say they're foodies, but then they do everything but actually focus on the food that they're eating. And so that's one rule that I put in place for my life. It's like no screens while eating, and if you can't eat with other people.
You can't?
No, if you can.
Oh, if you can't eat with other people.
If you can. If there's somebody around, try to eat with them, or, because food is also a communal thing.
Yeah.
Like, it's supposed to be enjoyed with people. And like in most cultures, it's a come, let's eat. Like that's like a celebration. That's like a language of love. And so if I can, I told my girl, like, I'm going to try, if we can't see each other that day, I'm going to try to come meet you at lunch, Let's eat, together for once a week. So
no, that's good. Like now, since you said that, I don't even realize that I do it. I don't eat without something being on either.
Yeah,
because I kind of feel like jail. like you know what I'm saying? Like as in like it almost make you go like, but in a way, I'm thinking like, why wouldn't I watch something while I'm eating?
Yeah.
Like it almost make you feel like, or maybe it's a feeling and not a true feeling. It makes me enjoy the food more.
Yeah, no, facts.
You get what I'm saying? Because it's like, oh, I'm watching something that I want to watch, and then I'm eating my food. You know what I mean? So it's almost like, hey, this is a good moment for me right here.
Nah, I feel you.
But I think it goes to your point of what we were saying. I don't know if we said this on camera or off camera about being extremists.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying? Like, there is a point to where, hey, try eating with no screens.
Yeah.
Compared to you just saying, you know what, only eat with no screens. You get what I'm saying? It works for you because you was the extreme the other way, to where
I needed to.
The food been done an hour, and you over here looking on YouTube trying to say, like, I got to eat, but I got to find something to watch. And don't watch something bad while eating, because then you feel like, oh, man, I got to.
I mean, I just needed something on to watch. Like, I like, if it was a snack or something, I could do that.
You know what's funny? Actually, this actually come back to mind. This made me think of my sister.
Yeah.
When I come home from school, I used to get home. This when I was a child.
Yeah.
When I walked home, of course I had my own key to get in the house, and I was home alone. I would get home like at 3:00, but Arthur didn't come on till 5:00.
Mm-hmm.
I would not eat until Arthur came on. This is when me as a child, like 7, 8, 9 years old. I clearly remember like making my peanut butter and jelly or popping in my oven pizza or something like that, waiting to eat. Mind you, most of the time I probably ate the lunch at school. Maybe not, because I'm a picky eater, or my mom probably packed me something. But I vividly remember, like, okay, Arthur comes on at 5. I just have to last to 5, and then I can eat when Arthur comes on. Of course, I don't do that now because we have the benefit of Netflix and all that stuff. But I kind of can feel it just makes the food better. I don't know. It's weird.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know why I was doing it, to tell you the truth. I just didn't like doing it until the cabin. And then it was like, I don't know. And I think, well, I kind of do. And I'll probably touch on it in another episode. But it's like, we don't allow ourselves to not be stimulated. Like, there's always a need to, like you can't just sit and think. I remember once you tell me that you like to just daydream.
Yeah. That's one of my favorite things to do.
Yeah, but it's like, how do you daydream if you got the internet, YouTube, Netflix, your phone, you're talking to somebody, you texting, social media, Twitter. Like, how do you have time to just think?
Yeah. Usually,
and it's like,
usually, I guess my daydream came when I was supposed to be doing something like
like work,
like work.
Like, I don't feel like doing this. I'm just chill.
Or like, driving. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like driving. Like,
oh,
boy, driving. Boy, I'll tell you, boy, the car became my favorite place now. But I touch on that later. But go ahead.
Yeah, but yeah, I think that's one big thing that I took away from the Getaway house, that I try to be more present when I'm eating, and even with people, I try to be more present when I'm with people. I still kind of do it now, but if I'm hang out with somebody, unless we're just chilling, like me and you, we're just
it's just basically autopilot. It's like,
so it's not like that, but like a new person, I try not to have my phone. If I'm walking, I try not to have my phone. Even when I'm having a conversation with somebody, you talked about this, but like, I'm not racist.
Uh-oh.
But you ever see like white people will be having like strong eye contact, especially those in like leadership roles.
Yeah.
Like I'm going to a new church. I talked to 2 white pastors, and they would not break eye contact. Like, and I'm the type of guy. It's like, I'm not going back down. So you giving me strong eye contact, I'm gonna give you strong eye contact back. But it was so freaky, and sometimes it's like quietness.
It kind of forced you to be in the moment. It forced you to be present.
Yeah, but yes. So that's one thing I'm trying to implement now, is be more like like communicate with somebody versus like just be talking all over the place, but like be able to communicate and really look at somebody in the eye. But with them, it was like, so yeah. Well, I hope I get to see you. I'm like, what was that silence just now? Like, you don't got nothing to say. Break eye contact. Yeah. I feel like that should be a rule. If you don't have anything to say, don't be quiet for like a good. I don't care if it's half a second or a second. If you're quiet and just okay, like what is that? Don't do that. But yeah, that's a side track. But yeah, I'm trying to look people more in the eyes when I'm talking to them. Just be more in who I am, and also journaling. Like I was journaling, but like maybe 4 or 5 lines. But I ain't really like journaling.
I ain't got nothing to say in the journal, man.
How you be blogging? You don't got nothing to say.
That's different though. Like,
wait, how's it different?
That's different because with a journal, people journal every day. At least the people that I talk to. Yeah. I don't have something to say every day. My blog comes out every week, and usually I'm pulling from the past to basically mirror the present or even to mirror the future. Sometimes, I'm sorry, like today, after our podcast today, I'm not doing nothing else today. If my girl want to see fireworks today, I might go see fireworks. But like some days just be better than others to where in the sense of content. Like to me, I feel like if I'm going to journal for a page, I gotta fill every line, and I just be like, hey, I woke up, I went to work.
That's fair.
I ain't got like I really was on autopilot today. I wish you would have said something about journaling because I straight would have brought my journal in today, and I straight would read to you at least the first couple months of just me journaling. It's literally me writing almost most of the days like this is stupid.
But you don't got to write about your day. You could write about thoughts.
But I guess
because like sometimes like one thing that I realize is like I be having thoughts, but it's not fully fleshed out. Or I haven't really dived deep into certain things. Like there's a certain thought right now that I have. It's like, am I a people pleaser and not know it? I'm like, maybe I am. Maybe that's why I'm nice. Maybe it's not really I'm nice. I don't think I'm nice, but that's why people say I'm nice. Because I be trying to please them. I don't know. I haven't really journaled about it, so I don't really know. But these are certain things that I think a journal might help. Or certain things that you want to do in the future. Like, I would say writing your goals is journaling. I would say, breaking down certain goals is journaling. Like, just having it on paper, like, what is it that you kind of want? Because you might have an idea, but you don't write it down on paper. For some reason, it doesn't feel real. Like, it hasn't been flushed out. It's like, yeah, I kind of want to do this, but then when people start asking you questions about it, it's like, damn, I didn't think about that. I didn't think about that. Damn. But when you have time to really, like, journal, it's like you start to ask those questions to yourself. It's like, okay, how do I do this?
Yeah.
How much money should I make before I get there? 2 years, 3 years? Okay. That because and maybe for you it might not be necessary because you kind of like talk out your certain goals with people, and it's like, okay, I'm trying to do this in 2 years. I'm trying to do this in 3 years. This is what I want to do. This is what I've been thinking about. Versus like somebody who doesn't think about that. So maybe for you it might not be necessary, but for me who kind of don't talk about anything.
Yeah.
I'm like, I need an outlet. But yeah, being more present. I think journaling is another thing that I'm trying to be more of.
It's funny. It's funny how like life is really not about reinventing the wheel.
No.
Like all these things you're saying about being more present, it almost as if it's like the old way.
Yeah.
Like there's no like I'm sure there's I actually watched this Matt D video.
Yeah.
Shout out to Matt D. And he did 30 days of bullet journaling. Right?
Oh, it's just
like just writing the journaling now. And one thing he said in the video was that he intentionally not put his to-do task in his Google calendar to put it on paper and things like that. And he said, honestly, some days it worked, other days it didn't. And at the end of it, he said something across the lines of, I'm gonna try to bullet journal it on and off, but I found myself actually wasting more time writing it down more than actually using like my computer and things like that. Now that, I guess, to each his own, you know what I mean? But it's just the idea of like things are paperless now. Like your bills are paperless.
Yeah.
But there's just something about writing down on paper that is like, I don't know why that's so impactful compared to like typing and actually seeing it. Like seeing it on paper, I really don't know the mind behind it, but it's just so crazy how the more you go into this, and I'm not trying to call it self-help, but the more you go into the self-help bag, you're really going back in the past of of how things really worked back in the day. You get what I'm saying? Now now everybody has a phone. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And now it's almost impactful to put your phone down. You get what I'm saying? Back in the day, we didn't have all these apps and things like that. But now it's almost impactful to not be on any of those apps.
Yep.
And it's like, wow, we're really going back in the 90s. Like back in the day, the funniest thing I said, I think you should remember this. I said, once I get rich, I'm getting a beeper. As in, like, I don't want easy access to me in the sense of like you could just call me and things like that. If you have my pager, you get what I'm saying? I'll get back to you when I can. But I think there's something to actually putting a limit on access to you and what you have access to. I don't know. I got to flush that idea out too. I probably talk about it in the car to like myself out loud. So like, I don't know.
Hey, voice journaling is a thing, man.
I never heard of that quote until you just said it. Really, I really didn't. Voice journaling, I never heard of that before.
Yeah, I mean, you seen that in video games where you be going through the little notes and they be having like these versions like, today is July 23rd. I just drank another.
I had no idea that was called voice journaling, though.
I don't know what. Maybe voice notes.
I'm thinking it's just voice over. I don't know.
But yeah, voice journaling is a thing. I try to do it. I'm not gonna listen to that. I don't like listening to myself speak like that. So
okay. So since you found out a way to be more present, right? What is one way before we get out of here? You feel like you have to do something to create more memories now? Now, granted, you said there is a problem with our society, quote unquote, being more present, but being you and being myself as well, as someone who don't create memories that much. Just like how you said, when you did the hike the first time or the first couple of times, you went on it and you experienced it for yourself. You was there.
Yeah.
But then you was like, when I'm about to leave, I want some type of memory or something that I can reflect to.
Yeah.
To be like, I was here, I had a good time. Or if someone asks about it, I have a reference to be like, hey, this is what it looks like. This is what you should expect. So if there's something that you're trying to implement to where it's like, okay, I need to create more memories or something like that.
I think the biggest one is reflection and journal.
Okay.
I think that's for me. Because like definitely taking pictures is dope, but it's like it doesn't capture like the thoughts you was having or the feelings that you was having that particular moment or certain things that you was viewing and why you was viewing. Like, for example, there's one thing I wrote on here where it says like the birds are quieter than the ones in the city. And I looked it up. Apparently birds are just yelling in the city because there's so much traffic. So they've been like, they have to compensate to reach their mates.
Really?
Yeah. So birds are actually louder in the city than they are in nature. I was like, yo, these birds are mad. Like, they not quiet, mind you, but they're not like as loud as the ones that are around here. I'm like, what is that about? And if I took a picture, I probably wouldn't know. Or even a video, I probably wouldn't know. But that's something that I had thought. I think me being able to just write something, it's like, I noticed that. What's that about? And being able to write that down. I think that's one thing. Another thing that I kind of want to touch on is like eliminating as many distractions as I possibly can.
Okay.
I think that's and being bored. I think all these things, being bored, being with people,
being bored.
We can touch on that next.
Being bored?
Being bored.
Make sure y'all watch the next episode because we about to do a Getaway series. And he's going to try to... See, here's the thing. I'm boring, but I'm not trying to be bored. I'm just like, what I do is fun for me. You get what I'm saying?
I used to be bored.
I don't even know what that means.
Yeah.
I don't even know what that means, bruh. Because being bored is like, you almost don't exist. You kind of let life pass you by in a way. Or does it slow down?
Huh?
I don't know. It kind of forces you. Is there anything else you want to share before we get to part 2 of this series right here you have? About being present and making memories and rather. Listen here. I'm not trying to rush you. I'm just trying to stretch the material. You get what I'm saying?
Like we only have 40.
I know. I'm just saying. This will be quick at it for me.
Nah, there's nothing much. I get it. People like to take pictures. We also have access to a camera 24/7 nowadays. So it's like, why not?
That's really what they really updating on the phones these days.
I know, the camera. Right?
Like, they not really doing much with the phone itself more than like, you know what, you got 3 cameras? Go put a 4th camera in the back, a 4th lens. There was this video, I forgot who did it, to where they showed basically what the new iPhone 20 gonna look like, and the whole back is just cameras in the back. So like, I get it. Yeah, I get it because I remember back in the day, we wasn't like, we ain't have phones with cameras on them. At least I didn't. Yeah. You get what I'm saying? But then again, I don't really use my camera like that. Hell, this is how y'all seeing this podcast right now.
Yeah, through a camera.
Through a camera on the phone. You get what I'm saying? So, you know, if there anything else about the Getaway cabin experience with being present and making more memories, or versus making more memories and things like that, trying not to be extreme one way, trying to find that balance.
Nah, I think that's about it.
And that's the thing about it. I think you have to be more intentional. I think being present in today's society, I think you have to actually try harder to be more present.
Yeah.
Than to make memories. I think memory is almost like you're doing it subconsciously, and you don't really understand that you're making memories.
And sometimes it's not you. You don't even have to.
It's not even
everybody else got cameras.
It's not even a real memory for real.
Yeah. But
being present is like, truth be told, the more present you are, the more easy it is to make the memory.
That's facts.
That's how I feel. If you fully experience it in the moment, then that's your memory.
I feel like, do people even have... I remember like people that was born like the 70s, 60s, when they was going to concerts, they remember every detail. They be like, yo, I remember when you blah, blah, blah. Do people still do that?
I don't know. I haven't been to a concert in a while since COVID.
But I'm just saying, like, I never hear people talk about certain moments as detailed as when people that was born in those like 60s, 70s, 80s.
Makes sense. But now, granted, I don't want to hate on people that have cameras and things like that because, granted,
everybody got cameras, so you be hating on us too.
Yeah, but I'm just saying, like, there's something to look. If there wasn't a camera when Michael Jackson moonwalked, we wouldn't have saw it, except for the people who was there, right? But even though I'm watching something on YouTube or watching something on TV, I'm not there. It's very different. You get what I'm saying? Not saying one is better than the other, but I'm just saying, for me, I always say professional audio, professional video is always better for me, for my personal viewing experience. Like, just the other night, I was watching the Essence Fest and things like that, and I was like, oh my goodness, my man Calvin Rogers was ripping on them drums. But I was like, this sounds amazing. Because, like, I got the studio, I got the stereos, I got the speakers in the room and things like that, and just the quality of it was sounding good. But I wasn't dancing in my living room. The people who was at the Essence Fest, they was dancing and going crazy there. And I was like, it sounds good to me, but there's probably a different energy in that room, and they're present. And a lot of them didn't have their phones. Granted, a lot of them did have their phones. You get what I'm saying? So they had their phones mainly on songs that's like not their favorite, but like the songs that was their favorites, they just got the dancing and things like that. So, you know, I need to be more present, and I definitely need to be intentional on actually taking notes or putting journal down or actually taking pictures and stuff like that. But I try, man. I try.
I ain't got nothing else to say.
I ain't got nothing else to say, too. Make sure y'all subscribe and like the channel, share the channel. Don't be selfish with it. And there will be a part 2 to this series, the Getaway series with Chen. I think that's what we will call it, the Getaway series with Chen. Okay, I don't know why he's going. Okay, thank you.
That means Chen, not.
Okay.
Not,
Yeah, please. Blessings.